Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are looking at a deceptively simple piece of hardware. Our mission is to unpack how you can smash the normal limits of USB connectivity, all through this one little device, the NTI USB2-C5-LCND492. But, the first thing I noticed diving into the source material is this immediate contradiction. It's sold as a one-port USB 2.0 extender, but the documentation also calls it a 4G automatic voice dialer. So what is it?
Yeah, that's the first clue that you're in for a fun ride. It's almost certainly just a documentation error, probably a chip or a firmware component that got mislabeled somewhere down the line, a ghost in the machine, really.
So we could just ignore the voice dialer part.
Absolutely. At its core, this thing has one job: to take a single USB device, think a printer, a camera, whatever, and push its connection up to 492 feet.
That's about 150 meters, which is, that's just a huge distance for a USB cable.
It is. Normally, you're lucky to get 15, maybe 16 feet.
So what's the secret here? Is it some expensive custom fiber optic cable?
No, and that's the elegant part. It just uses a single standard networking cable. The same CT5E or CD6 you probably have running through your walls right now.
Okay, so how does that work?
The whole system is basically just two small boxes. They're tiny, about the size of a deck of cards.
Right.
You have the local unit, which plugs into your computer's USB port.
Okay.
And then the remote unit, which has a port for your actual device, like your scanner or webcam.
And the network cable just connects the two boxes.
Exactly. And the really clever part is what it's doing. The source calls it transparent data extension. Meaning, it's not using, your standard IP network. It's essentially tricking your computer. The PC has no idea that the device is 400 feet away. It thinks it's plugged in right there.
Ah, so that's why it's plug and play. No drivers needed.
Precisely. For Windows, Mac, Linux, it just works. It doesn't need the OS to do anything special.
Okay, that architecture sounds almost too simple. So what's the catch? Are we paying a massive penalty on speed here?
You would think so, but no. It maintains full USB 2.0 compliance over the whole distance.
So you still get the full 480 megabits per second?
You get the full high-speed 480 megabits if your device supports it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it also handles the slower full-speed and low-speed modes perfectly fine.
That's impressive. Okay, but what about tower? That's always the killer over long cable runs.
Right, and they've addressed that in a very specific way. The local unit, the one by the computer, just draws power from the USB bus. Simple enough. But the remote unit, the one out by your device, that one requires its own external power supply.
Why the split? Why not power it all from the PC?
Because of voltage drop. A USB port is required to supply up to 500 milliamps of current. Trying to send that much power reliably over almost 500 feet of thin copper wire is a big challenge.
It's just not going to get there.
Not reliably. So the remote unit has its own power brick, effectively acting like a powered hub. It guarantees your device gets the stable power it needs to function correctly.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about who's buying this. It's priced at $255, which isn't cheap for a single port solution.
It's definitely a professional grade tool, and I think the key clue is in the specs. It's TAA compliant.
Which, for anyone who doesn't know, means it can be sold to the U.S. government.
Exactly. It meets the Trade Agreements Act. So you're looking at government, military, and high-security industrial sectors. This isn't for connecting your desk printer.
So we're taking a high-speed connection, pushing it almost 500 feet over standard cable with guaranteed power and government compliance.
It's a solution that prioritizes rock-solid stability above all else.
Great.
Which really leads to the final thought here. When you look at the whole package, the tough metal casing, the explicit mention of compatibility with industrial USB hubs, this thing is built to last in harsh environments.
That's not for an office.
No, so think about that. What kind of mission-critical system where data integrity and uptime are everything would truly need to extend one single USB port this far? Maybe in a factory or a clean room for medical imaging? That's something for you to explore.